John Denver, the voice behind the timeless hit Take Me Home Country Roads, faced an unexpected and tragic end that left the world in a state of utter shock and disbelief. In this video, we take a dive into the untold story behind the iconic singer's final flight. Facts First presents what really happened on John Denver's fatal flight. Career and personal life. John Denver's journey to stardom began with his birth as Henry John Deutschendorf Jr. in Roswell, New Mexico. His passion for music was ignited early on when he received a 1910 Gibson acoustic guitar from his grandmother at age 11. His upbringing was heavily influenced by his father, a U.S. Air Force officer, which later developed into his own love for flying. Denver's musical path started taking shape at Texas Tech University. Despite attending from 1961 to 64, his true calling in music led him to drop out and move to New York City. His big break came when he won a spot in the Chad Mitchell Trio, which propelled him into the limelight. Denver's songwriting skills were first recognized widely when Peter, Paul, and Mary recorded his song Leaving on a Jet Plane. This success led to a transformation in his career, prompting him to adopt the last name Denver, inspired by his love for the Rocky Mountains. Throughout the late 60s and into the mid-70s, his career flourished. He released several albums, with many achieving commercial success. Hits like Take Me Home Country Roads, Rocky Mountain High, Annie's Song, and Thank God I'm a Country Boy became anthems of a generation. He wasn't just a musical talent, he was a cultural icon, symbolizing a love for the natural world and an outdoorsy lifestyle. His impact extended beyond music into environmental and humanitarian efforts. He co-created the WinStar Foundation, a wildlife preservation agency, and founded the World Hunger Project, earning accolades from Presidents Jimmy Carter and Ronald Reagan. By the 1990s, Denver's new music might not have topped the charts as before, but his legacy as a touring musician was undeniable. He remained a beloved figure in the music world. His love for flying had turned into a significant part of his life. He was an experienced pilot, accumulating more than 2,700 hours in various aircraft. The fateful final flight. The fateful day of October 12, 1997, saw Denver embarking on what would be his last flight. He set off from Monterey Peninsula Airport in his experimental Adrian Davis Long Easy plane. The flight was meant to be a short personal excursion. Denver, an experienced pilot, conducted a pre-flight check, which was observed by a maintenance technician. However, it appeared Denver did not visually verify the fuel quantity or check the engine oil level. An issue that came to light during this preparation was the inaccessibility of the cockpit fuel selector valve handle. Located awkwardly behind the pilot's left shoulder, Denver struggled with it. Attempts were made to extend its reach with vice grip pliers, but to no avail. This issue was significant enough that Denver considered using autopilot to adjust it during the flight. Denver took off around 5:12 p.m., contacting air traffic control and signaling his readiness for the flight. His plan included performing touch-and-go landings, a routine procedure for pilots to practice landings and takeoffs. However, after completing 3 of these maneuvers, Denver did not return to the pattern, but instead headed west over the Pacific Ocean. This was the last known maneuver of Denver's flight. Witnesses later reported seeing the plane in a steep nose-down descent and heard a pop or backfire, a sign of engine trouble, before the plane crashed into the ocean. The circumstances leading to this tragic end were complex and multifaceted. The National Transportation Safety Board later determined that several factors played a role in the accident. Key among these were inadequate pre-flight planning and preparations, the difficult-to-access fuel selector valve, and Denver's relative inexperience with this specific type of aircraft. The fuel selector valve's poor placement was particularly crucial, as it likely diverted Denver's attention from piloting the aircraft effectively, leading to the fatal nosedive. The aircraft itself was an experimental amateur-built canard type, equipped with a variety of features, including an electric trim and a single-axis roll autopilot. It was initially designed for engines up to 115 horsepower, but the plane Denver flew had been modified to accommodate a 150 horsepower engine, necessitating further modifications like added ballast in the nose. These modifications were an essential aspect of the flight's dynamics and may have played a role. More investigation details. The NTSB's investigation was comprehensive, focusing on multiple aspects of the flight. They scrutinized the pre-flight preparations, which highlighted several oversights, such as Denver's aforementioned failure to check the fuel quantity or engine oil level. The most critical aspect was the problematic fuel selector valve, difficult to reach and operate, located behind his shoulder. This design flaw was a significant distraction during the flight. Investigators also noted that Denver was flying without a valid pilot's license at the time of the accident. This revelation added a layer of complication to the investigation, raising questions about the decision-making that led to the flight. The plane's modifications, particularly the more powerful engine and added ballast in the nose, were also scrutinized, as they could have altered the aircraft's flight characteristics. John Denver reportedly said, quote, "I've always been more comfortable in the air than on the ground," reflecting his profound love for flying. This passion, while a significant part of his life, tragically also contributed to the circumstances leading to his woeful demise. John's lasting legacy. John Denver's legacy extends far beyond the tragic end of his life. He was not just a musician. He was an environmentalist, a humanitarian, and a symbol of a generation that yearned for connection with the natural world. His music, characterized by its idyllic lyrics and acoustic sound, invited audiences to see the world through his eyes, full of natural splendor and beauty. Denver's environmental and humanitarian work is an integral part of his legacy. He co-founded the WinStar Foundation, a wildlife preservation agency, and the World Hunger Project, reflecting his commitment to making the world a better place. His impact on music is undeniable. Selling over 32 million albums in the U.S. alone, Denver's songs continue to resonate with audiences worldwide. His music remains a staple on radio stations and in the hearts of those who grew up with his melodies. Quotes from fans and fellow musicians often reflect on his gentle spirit and profound impact on the music industry. Denver's tragic death serves as a sobering reminder of the risks associated with flying, especially in experimental or modified aircraft. But his contributions to music, environmental awareness, and humanitarian causes continue to define his legacy, overshadowing the tragedy of his final moments. John Denver's tragic death in an airplane crash is sadly not a unique occurrence in celebrities. For instance, the music world was affected when rock and roll stars Buddy Holly, Ritchie Valens, and J.P. the Big Bopper Richardson died in a plane crash in 1959. Country music legend Patsy Cline met a similar fate in 1963, and in more recent times, R&B singer and actress Aaliyah passed away in a plane crash in 2001. Now it's time to hear from you. Do you have a favorite song of John Denver's? Let us know in the comments section below.